Around 3 to 4 years ago, what was the one phone that everyone wanted to own? Quite simple, it was a BlackBerry. Nothing to be ashamed of, really. Everyone wanted to have BlackBerry Messenger, everyone wanted to be part of the BlackBerry group. But as the years passed and touch screens came out, no one wanted a physical keyboard on their phone. And one thing BlackBerry did not want to do is not adapt to that thing. They continue making phones with physical keyboards on them, except for a few. But here's BlackBerry's comeback with the BlackBerry Classic, and today we have the full review for you, so please watch and enjoy. So BlackBerry's brought back that classic style with some new features as well. First thing, when you look at the BlackBerry Classic, is quite a classy phone. It looks very premium. But sadly, when you put it in your hands and you quite start to hold it, you can see that the metal bands which look metal are actually plastic. And except for the buttons on the front of the phone, I feel that nothing really feels premium material wise. Other than that, the phone is very heavy at 177 grams. It is not a very big phone. If you compared it to a complete touchscreen phone, it would be the size of a 5-inch phone or maybe smaller, and 177 grams is a bit too much for that. The microphone, its speaker, and the jack for the charging is at the bottom. On the right we have the volume buttons. On the left we have the SD card and microSD slot, and finally on the top we have the power button and the headphone jack. Now, I don't know why, but whenever I look at this phone or touch it, it just screams a different level of class to me. I don't know why, because maybe it's associated with those CEOs that used to have only BlackBerries but now have moved on to more modern technology. I don't know, but I really liked using this phone. I review a lot of phones and I use a lot of phones. So using a phone with a physical keyboard was kind of, well, it was not that easy, but the buttons responded well and they felt nice. So overall, the build quality is okay of the Classic with the plastic bands and stuff like that. The back is very grippy and I'm sure it won't fall out of your hand. It also doesn't have a removable battery, it is all sealed up. So overall design of the BlackBerry Classic is nice, going back to the key features of the bold, which was one of their most successful sellers. So good job BlackBerry on the design. Maybe build quality could have been increased because this phone cost 32,000 rupees. Starting off hardware section of the BlackBerry Classic, we have a dual-core 1.5 GHz CPU. That's right, I said dual-core. We do have a Snapdragon chipset, which is always nice to have. Snapdragon are the best at what they do, as I repeatedly say. Now memory-wise, we have 2 GB of RAM and also we have 16 GB of ROM. Like I said, the phone doesn't lag, so 2 GB of RAM must be working. Now 16 GB of ROM, I mean, back in the day it might have been enough for a phone, but today we have phones with 128 GB storage. So is 16 enough? No, it isn't. But that's okay, because we have the microSD slot, which can hold up to 128 GB. Now I know it's an extra cost, but what can you do? BlackBerry's only given us 16 GB. Now the screen is in the size of in the shape of a square and has a resolution of 720 by 720, which will give you a pixel density of around 294. Now, is 294 the best pixel density you can get? No, it's not. But the screen is quite small, so it does work. Like the iPhone 4 before the Retina display, this was around the pixel density which they housed. So as you can make out, it was quite good. The speaker, however, gives adequate sound quality, but there's no depth in the sound. It's not something that you would really spend a lot of time listening to. Now hardware is important, and this is not a feature we use in any other smartphone review because it's not there. But here we have the trackpad button on the top, the back call, and all the keyboard buttons as well. Now how do they work? They work extremely well. Now the power button works well and the keyboard responds really well. I have quite big fingers, so it was difficult for me to type on that, but I don't know, some people love BlackBerries and they just like to stick with the physical keyboard. So overall, the BlackBerry hardware is not up to the mark of the price of the phone. Now, it does not have top specs, just like the iPhone, which has only 1 GB of RAM, for those of you who didn't know. But it does work well together, so is that enough? We'll have to see 3-4 months down the line. Now I know I've repeated myself quite a bit in this video by saying a couple of years ago, but here's another one. Because a couple of years ago you didn't really expect your camera to be the best on your phone. You knew it was there just to take a couple of pictures, but never to replace your actual Handycam or SLR. But in today's world, with pictures coming out with the Note 4, with the iPhone 6, and even what Sony's done with their sensors, you expect your phone to have a great camera. Now the BlackBerry Classic has an 8 megapixel camera, which has autofocus of course, and the LED flash. Now the photos taken with it are quite nice, but maybe overcolored a little bit and the white balance is missing, so that's something to look at. But the clarity of the photos did come out well. The secondary camera on the front is also nice. It's 2 megapixels and the clarity is quite good for a 2 megapixel camera. One thing again is the white balance is a little bit off, so a little thing to work there on BlackBerry. The camera app on the other hand is quite basic, but as soon as you go into that setting menu, you open a lot of stuff. It has a lot of options. 2 of them are time burst, which is taking moving pictures, something that we saw in the Nokia Lumia 820. And also we have the burst option, so that allows us to take lots of photos in a short time, used for sports events, stuff like that. So the BlackBerry camera, saying one word, would be good. That's all. Now the latest software at BlackBerry is the BlackBerry OS 10.3.1, which is of course the latest version of BlackBerry 10 operating system. Now the BlackBerry update comes with lots of cosmetic changes and also functional improvements. Starting off, the UI is quite similar to the old one, quite basic, and consists of mainly 3 things: the hub, the active pane, and the apps panel. So basically the hub is where all your messages, notifications will be stored and you get quick notifications. The active pane is where all your active apps are shown. What's on is just like the multitasking page on an Android phone. And last of all, the app panel is a list of all your apps. Now, some of you might be saying that the BlackBerry App Store does not have any apps or any third-party apps, or many apps that we don't need. But one thing that we can do now is download Android APK files onto the BlackBerry OS. But one thing is that you will not get notifications, push notifications from those third-party Android apps unless they are active. If they are closed, you will not get notifications. As long as that, the Google services do not work. Overall, the software on the BlackBerry has taken a huge leap in a way that has allowed for performance. But one thing is that the third-party apps are not enough. BlackBerry is very good at communication and networking messages all in their apps, and it outruns even Android, maybe even iOS in that section. But the third-party apps are not there. But overall, BlackBerry has improved the software, so good job, BlackBerry. In conclusion, getting down to the bare aspects of this phone, it is 31,990 rupees. Now there are a lot of phones in today's market which you can get for that price. The hardware is not top notch, nor the screen is top notch. It's all around moderate quality and performance. Now if you are a die-hard BlackBerry fan who just needs a BlackBerry in your pocket, go for it. It's not a bad phone, but I would recommend that people who are using Android phones or iOS devices not to make the change, because really it won't be for you. If you want to try it, that's up to you. And if you like this review, please press the like button below, and also subscribe to our website and subscribe to our YouTube page, GizBot, and also visit our website, GizBot.com, which has the latest news on technology, written reviews, and lots of updates. Thank you for watching. This is Aditya Gala for GizBot.